says, Jesus, you know, the Son of God, and I didn't realize. I said, man, I'm so sorry, and invited him inside. Offered him a sandwich because he was looking awful thin. And then I went and got nervous and said, so Jesus, where you been? And he said, heaven. Well, I've been in heaven. Then I saw him looking at a picture from my wedding day of my wife and me and our 1-year-old son. I said, I guess that's not okay. He said, the truth is, all I care about is that you love and take care of your kids. Remember, I was born out of wedlock too, though some folks soon forget. They soon forget. We just sat there talking, watching the TV news. I asked him Fox or CNN. He said, Will, I prefer the truth. I said, PBS, okay, my friend. And we both had a laugh with the stories they kept showing. Started looking pretty sad. It was all war and death and hatred, poverty and greed. He said, the rich folks and politicians were sure starting to get to me. What part of love your neighbor is so hard to understand? I said, don't take it too hard, Jesus. Just take a drive, my man, take a drive, my man. Hopped into my old Ford and went out for a spin. Drove past the military funeral where we saw these angry men with signs that said that God hates fags. And Jesus said, let me out. Walked up to him real calm and cool, and I heard one man shout, get out of here, you goddamn hippie. Can't wait for you to die. Jesus said, I already did, and then smiled and waved goodbye. Got in and said, Daddy doesn't hate nobody. That's an awful thing to say. Plus, Daddy knows what he's doing. He's the one who made him gay. God made him gay. So I went back to driving, and then I saw him shed a tear. He said, y'all sure have made a mess of all the things we gave you down here. All this war and global warming. No help for the sick or the poor. Maybe Daddy and I should just pull the plug. Y'all ain't worth it anymore. I said, oh, Jesus, take it easy. Gotta pick my 2 sons up at 3. If it's gonna be, well, hold on. See, the truth of the matter is, it's important that you tell the truth in your songwriting and your stories. And this part of the song where I say that I had to pick my 2 sons up at 3, if I'm being completely honest with y'all, and again, I love and care about y'all, and I know this is a city that's based on honesty. And so I want to be honest with y'all here tonight. When this song was written, I had one son that was in middle school and one was in elementary school. Middle school got out at 4, and the elementary school got out at 3. But I didn't want to have to try to rhyme 3 and 4, because, and then with Jesus being in there and all, there's an easy rhyme for 4, and I thought that could get weird, and I just didn't want to do that, because, again, I don't want to be sacrilegious. And so I took some liberty with the truth in this part of the song when I say I picked my 2 sons up at 3. I hope you'll forgive me for making that part up. Everything else is still true and accurate, but just know that I have I've clued you into the real story there. So I had to pick my 2 sons up at 3. That's right. And if it's gonna be Armageddon, I think I'd like to have him back home with me. And he said, okay, that's Jesus. Jesus said, okay, then let's go get him. And turned up the radio, and we sang along the old Merle Haggard songs as we rolled on down the road. Mama tried, oh, Mama tried. Pulled up to the playground, and Jesus said, looky there. There were children running around laughing. There were smiles everywhere. It was the white, the black, the Chinese, the short, the fat, the tall, Christians, Muslims, Jews, and atheists having themselves a ball. Jesus smiled and said, well, maybe there's hope for you folks yet. So learn a lesson from your children. Try not to forget. And I call off this doomsday into the world and I go back home. It gets wild when I leave Daddy and John Lennon up there all alone. Oh, yeah. Just like that, he was gone and everything seemed fine. I yelled, one more thing, Jesus. Could you help me write some hits? And in a big voice, he said, that